Vision. It's a word that evokes power, inspiration, and the promise of a better tomorrow. Leaders throughout history have captivated hearts and minds with their bold visions, igniting the hopes and aspirations of entire nations. A compelling vision can unify a fractured people, propel a nation through adversity, and leave an indelible mark on the course of history. But vision, like any potent force, can be a double-edged sword. While a noble vision can elevate and inspire, a misguided or corrupted one can lead to ruin. History is replete with examples of leaders whose visions, though initially captivating, ultimately proved disastrous. The seductive power of a grand vision can blind us to its flaws, leading us down a path of destruction, even as we believe ourselves to be marching towards progress. Throughout the annals of American history, we find both the triumphs and the tragedies born of visionary leadership. From the Founding Fathers' bold experiment in self-government, to the Civil War's bitter struggle over slavery, the nation's story has been shaped by the visions of its leaders. Understanding the complexities of vision, its potential for both good and evil, is essential for any society that seeks to chart a wise and just course for its future. As we delve into the intricacies of vision and leadership, we must grapple with fundamental questions. What distinguishes a virtuous vision from a dangerous one? How can we guard against the allure of empty promises and the perils of unchecked ambition? And ultimately, how can we cultivate leaders whose visions will truly serve the greater good?
A vision worthy of guiding a nation must be anchored in a deep and unwavering commitment to justice, right, and the well-being of all its people. It cannot be merely a seductive narrative or a tool for consolidating power. At its core, a virtuous vision must reflect a profound understanding of the human condition, recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every individual.
Justice demands that a leader's vision be inclusive, embracing the needs and aspirations of all citizens, not just a select few. It must strive to create a society where equality of opportunity is not a privilege but a right, where the scales of justice are balanced, and where the voices of the marginalized are heard and valued.
Right, in the context of visionary leadership, extends beyond mere legality. It encompasses a profound sense of moral responsibility, a commitment to ethical conduct, and a recognition that the ends never justify unjust means. A leader's vision must be grounded in principles of fairness, honesty, and integrity, serving as a moral compass that guides every decision and action.
Ultimately, a virtuous vision must serve the greater good. It should aspire to create a society where all citizens have the opportunity to thrive, where individual potential can flourish, and where future generations inherit a world more just, more compassionate, and more sustainable than the one before.
In the tapestry of American history, we find leaders whose visions embodied these essential qualities. Their stories serve as powerful reminders that true leadership requires not only boldness and ambition, but also a deep and abiding commitment to the principles of justice, right, and the greater good. The annals of American history are replete with figures who embodied the virtues of visionary leadership. These individuals, driven by a profound sense of justice, right, and the greater good, shaped the nation's destiny and left an indelible mark on the world.
Abraham Lincoln, often hailed as America's greatest president, stands as a towering example of visionary leadership. In the crucible of the Civil War, Lincoln's unwavering commitment to preserving the Union and ending slavery guided the nation through its darkest hour. His vision, eloquently articulated in the Gettysburg Address, transcended the immediate conflict, offering a timeless testament to the enduring principles of human equality and self-government.
Another shining example is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose New Deal programs helped lift America out of the Great Depression. Roosevelt's vision of a more just and equitable society, where government played an active role in alleviating suffering and promoting opportunity, redefined the relationship between the citizen and the state. His leadership during World War II further cemented his legacy as a champion of democracy and freedom on the world stage.
The civil rights movement of the 20th century was propelled by visionary leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., whose dream of a nation where his children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character inspired millions to demand justice and equality. King's unwavering commitment to nonviolent resistance and his eloquent articulation of the moral imperative for racial justice helped to bring about a profound transformation in American society.
These leaders, though flawed and human, serve as beacons of hope, reminding us of the transformative power of vision when guided by principles of justice, right, and the greater good. Their stories inspire us to strive for a better future, one where the promise of America, a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, is fully realized. Section 4. The shadow of good intentions, when visions lead astray. While a noble vision can be a powerful force for good, history teaches us that even the most well-intentioned visions can have unintended and sometimes disastrous consequences. The path to hell, as the adage goes, is often paved with good intentions. Leaders, blinded by their own idealism, or intoxicated by the allure of their own grand designs, can make choices that lead to suffering, injustice, and the very opposite of what they set out to achieve. The progressive era of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, while driven by a genuine desire to address social ills and improve the lives of ordinary Americans, offers a cautionary tale about the potential pitfalls of visionary leadership. The movement's embrace of eugenics, a now discredited pseudoscience that advocated for the forced sterilization of individuals deemed unfit, is a stark reminder that even seemingly progressive visions can be warped by prejudice and a misplaced belief in the infallibility of scientific progress. The Prohibition movement, another product of the progressive era, provides a further example of how a vision, however well-intentioned, can have unintended and counterproductive consequences. While motivated by a desire to curb the social ills associated with alcohol consumption, Prohibition ultimately fueled the rise of organized crime, fostered a culture of lawlessness, and failed to achieve its intended goal of reducing alcohol consumption. These examples underscore the crucial importance of humility and self-reflection in leadership. Visionaries must be willing to acknowledge the limitations of their own understanding, to listen to dissenting voices, and to adapt their visions in light of new information and changing circumstances. Failure to do so can have devastating consequences, turning even the most noble of aspirations into instruments of harm.
Section 5. The Siren Song of Vision. Hypocrisy, deception, and the corruption of ideals. Vision, like any potent force, can be corrupted, its noble aspirations twisted to serve selfish ambitions and justify unspeakable acts. History is replete with leaders who, seduced by the allure of power, abandoned their principles and transformed their visions into instruments of oppression and tyranny. The French Revolution, initially ignited by lofty ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, descended into a reign of terror as its leaders, consumed by paranoia and power struggles, turned on their own people. The revolution's promise of a more just and equitable society gave way to a bloodbath, a stark reminder of how easily noble ideals can be corrupted when unchecked by morality and restraint.
The rise of totalitarian regimes in the 20th century provides further chilling examples of the dangers of unchecked vision. Leaders like Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin, driven by utopian ideologies and fueled by a cult of personality, unleashed unimaginable horrors upon the world. Their visions, promising national glory and a workers' paradise, masked the brutal reality of genocide, mass murder, and political repression. These cautionary tales highlight the importance of vigilance in safeguarding against the corrupting influence of power. Leaders must be held accountable for their actions, their vision subjected to constant scrutiny to ensure they remain aligned with the principles of justice, right, and the greater good. The allure of a grand vision can be intoxicating, but it must never blind us to the dangers of unchecked ambition and the seductive whispers of power. Section 6. The Emperor's New Clothes, Propaganda, Manipulation, and the Distortion of Truth. In the hands of a skilled manipulator, vision can become a tool of deception, its true nature obscured by a veil of propaganda, emotional manipulation, and the deliberate distortion of truth. Like the Emperor in Hans Christian Andersen's classic tale, who parades naked before his subjects, convinced he wears magnificent clothes, the public can be swayed by carefully crafted narratives that mask the emptiness or even the malevolence behind a leader's vision.
Propaganda, the systematic dissemination of biased or misleading information, has long been a tool of those seeking to manipulate public opinion and manufacture consent for their agendas. By controlling the flow of information, suppressing dissent, and appealing to people's fears and prejudices, Unscrupulous leaders can create a distorted reality where their vision, however flawed or dangerous, is perceived as the only viable path forward. Emotional manipulation, playing on people's hopes, fears, and insecurities, is another powerful tool for shaping public perception. Leaders who understand the power of emotion can exploit it to their advantage, bypassing rational discourse and critical thinking. By appealing to people's desire for security, belonging, or a sense of purpose, manipulators can create a climate of fear and fervor, making it difficult for individuals to question the validity of the vision being sold to them.
Cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort that arises from holding conflicting beliefs or engaging in behavior that contradicts one's values, can further solidify the grip of a manipulative leader. Faced with evidence that contradicts their cherished beliefs or the actions of a leader they admire, individuals may experience psychological distress. To alleviate this discomfort, they may engage in mental gymnastics, rationalizing away inconsistencies, dismissing contradictory evidence, or doubling down on their existing beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The ability to recognize and resist these manipulative tactics is essential for preserving individual autonomy and safeguarding against the dangers of unchecked power. Critical thinking, media literacy, and a healthy skepticism towards those who claim to hold all the answers are vital defenses against the seductive allure of a carefully constructed facade. By remaining vigilant and informed, citizens can ensure that their leaders are held accountable, their visions subjected to scrutiny, and their actions guided by principles of truth, justice, and the greater good.